Alrighty folks, welcome back to the next chapter of our epic Western wedding road trip. We're journeying through over 12 states, traveling from Pennsylvania all the way to Utah, with each mile bringing me closer to the big wedding day. This week, we take an unforgettable detour into the breathtaking Rocky Mountains of Colorado, where I'll face one of my toughest hikes yet. The Rocky Mountains, often called the Rockies, are the backbone of North America, stretching over 3,000 miles from northern British Columbia in Canada all the way down to New Mexico in the United States. Their towering peaks and rugged terrain have captivated adventurers for centuries. These mountains are home to an incredibly diverse range of environments, from lush alpine forests to stark, windswept ridges, and contain some of the highest points on the entire continent. Colorado itself boasts 58 peaks, all over 14,000 feet, making it a mecca for hikers and mountaineers, seeking both challenge and awe-inspiring views. This week, the adventure takes us to Loveland Pass, sitting at an elevation of 11,990 feet above sea level. From this high-altitude starting point, I set my sights on climbing not one, not two, but three 13,000-foot peaks, starting with Mount Sniktau, coming in at 13,234 feet. These mountains, known as 13ers, stand as silent giants, demanding respect with their thin air, steep trails, and unpredictable weather. The hike itself tested me like no other. Climbing above 13,000 feet for the first time in my life was both exhilarating and grueling. The thin air at this elevation quickly reminded me that the Rockies are not to be taken lightly. I fought through altitude sickness, my legs screaming, and lungs burning with just about every step. But the payoff? Views that seemed to stretch into eternity, peaks upon peaks, snow-dusted ridges, and valleys bathed in sunlight. The Rockies may be rough and unforgiving, but they also hold a beauty and majesty that make every challenge worth it. This is Colorado hiking at its finest, a raw, rugged experience that pushes you to your limits and rewards you with memories to last a lifetime. Woo! So as always, enough talking, let's get to hiking. I don't know how well you can see those mountains off in the distance there, but believe it or not, we are going to be on the top of one of those in just a few hours. Well, alrighty folks, how is this view to start off the video? Good morning and welcome back to Colorado. Had an excellent night staying in Estes Park last night. If you missed the Stanley Hotel video last week, go back and check that out. But yeah, day number 4 here along the big Western wedding road trip takes us up to one of the most challenging parts of my entire journey. We are here in an area known as Loveland Pass, kind of a little valley that cuts through the center of Colorado in the high country. We got 13,000 foot peaks off to my left, a 14,000 foot peak off to my left, and even more 13,000 peaks off to my right. This place is just mind-blowing. I could have made an entire video just of the drive up to this area. That drive down 70 was just spectacular. Made it here a little later than I anticipated, but long story short, the goal of today is going to be climbing not one, not two, but three 13,000 foot peaks here in Colorado. We're going to be climbing Mount Sniktau off to the left, Cupid Peak, as well as Grizzly Peak, which is just right in front of me here. So yeah, if you don't know me already, I am from Western Pennsylvania. It is maybe has an elevation of 1,000 foot, give or take a couple hundred feet. We are here standing right now at over 10,000 feet here in Loveland Pass. It is in the 30-degree mark right now, and it's probably gonna get colder the higher we get. But yeah, I'm gonna get the bag on, and we are gonna get hiking up and hopefully conquer 13,000 foot peaks today. But yeah, this is Colorado, Loveland Pass. I'm excited. Let's do it. Well, just to put it into perspective for you folks, you can see Interstate 70 well down below us right now. I believe that road is at about 8,000 or 9,000 feet in elevation. And then we got off the exit, kind of just wound up this road. The drive was spectacular. You can see some patches of snow off in the distance. In a month or two, this whole area is just going to be covered in feet of snow. And behind me here is the sign for Loveland Pass. I was actually wrong. We are at an elevation of 11,990 feet. So just walking around here kind of takes your breath away. It's a different feeling. Like I said, I'm a little nervous going up there. I've never done anything at this high of an elevation, but I'm ready for the challenge. Like I said, we're going to see everything on this trip: deserts, climbing mountains, abandoned castles, you name it. That's what this whole trip's about, getting out of our comfort zone and just exploring. So yeah, I'm excited. We're going to get the bag on and get going, but yeah, I just wanted to show you some of these views and just give you a little perspective of how high we actually are right now. Another thing, we are above the tree line. As you can see, trees can't grow this high in elevation. There's just not enough nutrients, and it's just cold here all year round. So all right, enough talking, let's get to climbing. I'm so excited right now. Well, you couldn't ask for a nicer morning. Barely a cloud in the sky. Like I said, it is in the high 30s right now, believe it or not. And from what I read, and after watching a few videos, this first ascent here is the most difficult section of the trail. I think we're gonna gain over 500 feet in maybe a quarter mile. I'm honestly not feeling too bad so far. You can see Grizzly Peak off in the distance there, as well as Cupid Peak, I think, right above us. We're gonna veer off and do Sniktau. But yeah, maybe if you're not too familiar with hiking in the Rockies, it's a bit of a learning experience. You really wanna get here early, especially in the summertime, because the Rockies are just notorious on having these just pop-up thunderstorms that come out of nowhere around the afternoon. And trust me, you don't wanna get stuck in a thunderstorm on top of a 13,000 foot mountain, because I'm guessing you know what would happen. So yeah, you want to get here early. I got a bit of a late start. Should have got here around sunrise, but hopefully all goes well. If we start seeing some black clouds develop, we'll have to scramble on back down. So it's kind of touch and go today. We'll see what happens. But yeah, even if we don't make it to Sniktau, we got to see these views today. So all right, you're gonna hear me breathing deep pretty much all video, so let's get it. Yeah, this is kicking my butt. That is an understatement. You can see how far we've come now so far. And just behind me, you can see the ridge top that I believe we're gonna follow to the top of Sniktau. Yeah, this is no joke, guys. Colorado is kicking my butt. hopefully that's the ridge top, and hopefully that's not a false summit. You can see two other folks in front of me. They both got dogs there. Zipped on by me. Old Pennsylvania boy struggling up here in the Rockies. But yeah, like I said, beautiful day. And just amazing. All these lush grasses. Seen a bunch of wildflowers already. And it just goes to show you, you know, no matter how tough the environment, life goes on. And that kind of, you know, is inspiration to me. No matter how hard this hike is going to be, I'll survive, I'll make it. But yeah, check out all these wildflowers and stuff in bloom. All the grasses are starting to turn red, getting ready for the big winter season. Like I said, shortly this mountain is just going to be covered in feet of snow. We are hitting this at the right time of the year, that's for sure. Woo. Starting to get windier. The further we get up, you can make out two folks way up on the ridge line there. I believe this is Cupid Peak off to the right. They're probably going to start cutting across, like I said earlier, to Sniktau. You can see the doggy in front of me. I'm just going at a snail's pace. Got to. I feel like my heart is going to jump out of my chest. I don't think Sam wants me to have a heart attack before the wedding, so. Well, along this trip, we might get our first view of a pika. I can hear some off in the distance. Stop here for a second, see if we can hear them. They just love these rocky outcrops. There are apparently some marmots that live up in this area as well. If you're not familiar with a pika or a marmot, a pika kind of just looks like a little hamster that live in the sides of these rocky mountains. And marmots, I always kind of refer to them as the groundhogs of the mountain. That's the best way to describe them. But yeah, they're going to be hanging out in all these rocky outcroppings. Well, we're getting there. I think it's taken me about an hour to go maybe a half of a mile. But yeah, take a look at these views. Unbelievable. All right, here's our first pika running right at me. Look at him go. That's a new ID for the channel. Like I said, they're little mountain hamsters. Look at this little guy. Doesn't really seem to mind me at all. All right, here it is. Finally made it up to the ridge line. That was a doozy. Check out these views though. So that is Cupid Peak off to my right. I want to say that behemoth off in the distance. And you know what? That kind of summit, I think, on the other side is Grizzly Peak. So 13,000 foot mountain, 13,000 foot mountain. And the two big guys off in the distance, that's Torrey's and Gray's Peak. Those are the 14,000 foot mountains here. And then off to my left, that is Mount Sniktau. So fingers crossed. That was the worst journey of the trail. But yeah, this was worth every second of huffing and puffing coming up that straight uphill. So yeah, the plan is to get up there. We will reevaluate. I am pretty beat after that. So we might only make it to Sniktau and Cupid. I don't know if we're gonna do Grizzly because it's pretty gnarly looking, but yeah, daylight is burning. Time is not my friend today, especially with thunderstorms and whatnot. It thunderstormed here yesterday, so we gotta be really careful with that. But let's go climb Sniktau and check off our first ever 13,000 foot mountain here. Quite the accomplishment. All All right, well, this is what it's all about right here. Just took a little breather. It's not as windy as I thought it was gonna be up here. Hopefully you guys can hear me well, but yeah, like I said, this is what I've been dreaming of for my entire life, to hike one of these big mountains out in Colorado. I know it's not a 14er, but this is a good start. So maybe next trip out here, we'll tackle one of the big boys. But hey, a 13,000 foot mountain, that's a big accomplishment for me. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying this video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the big Western road trip. If you aren't already, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna be going into a national park tomorrow. I'll let you find out where next week. So yeah, you're not gonna wanna miss it. And then we will be heading down into the desert. So a lot of awesome things planned. But yeah, I'm gonna get going. Like I said, time is not on my side today. We're on a very exposed ridgeline, as you can see. The sun is gonna start hitting me pretty hard. The UV is even stronger the higher you get, obviously. So yeah, let's get going. All right, well, as you can see, still following along the ridgeline, we are going to start gaining some elevation before ultimately arriving at Sniktau. But got some wildlife sightings here. You can see another pika kind of poking around down below me, but the cooler of the wildlife sightings and a new ID for the channel. If you can make out those white dots kind of perched upon that little ridgeline off in the distance, those are mountain sheep. Those are one of the cooler animals that you can find here up in the Rockies. It looks like they're just bedding down, trying to avoid predators and mountain lions up in the high country here. It's starting to warm up. Just wanted to show you some mountain sheep. That is really cool. I literally just stopped for a minute just to take in the views and try and spot some wildlife. I looked right there and there they are. So many opportunities in the state. I want to say there's like 358, I'll say, 13,000 foot mountains in Colorado. I'll put the actual number right here because I'm sure I'm off. But yeah, imagine there's people out here that climb each and every one of these. And I'm going on 35, climbing my first. Feel like I'm walking through a Lord of the Rings movie out here. I seriously cannot stop smiling. We have ascended up to this little false summit. You can see Bertha actually way on down below us, probably a good 1,000 foot or so, maybe even more than that, as well as some other 14ers off in the distance. There are some really big peaks. Mount Albert is the largest mountain here in Colorado. I'm not sure which direction it's in, but good look at Mount Cupid. We're going to try to make it up there, no guarantees. Grizzly Peak, Torreys and Grays, those are 14ers, like I said earlier. And you could actually hike all these in one day. But yeah, we're not going to try to do 14ers today, that's for sure. And then you could see the mountain sheep off down below. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 of them. We'll be coming pretty close to them once we head up to Cupid. But yeah, this is awesome, guys. If I can do a 13,000 foot mountain, so can you. But technically, I'm not there yet. There it is. So close, I can basically touch it. Well, we made it to the top of yet another false peak. I thought this was going to be the top of Sniktau. It's actually off in the distance. So yeah, if we don't make it to Cupid or Grizzly today, hopefully you guys won't be upset with me. Because like I said, I am feeling it, and definitely don't want to push myself further than I need to, just because I still got 2 weeks of hiking left on this trail. But let's focus on getting up to Sniktau. When I started this trail, it was 39 degrees. I thought I was going to need the puffy jacket and everything, and now it feels like it's in the 70s up here. It's scorching. Drank probably half my water already, but I'll be all right in regard to that. Yeah, there's Sniktau in front of me though. Looks like we made it up to the last false summit, and it looks like that last climb is going to be a doozy. So come along with me. What do you say? All right, folks, unless there is another false summit right over this, I believe we have made it to the top of our first ever 13,000 foot mountain. Look at this place. These views would never get old. Just plop my house down right here and I'd probably be the happiest guy in the world. That nice little snow lake down below. I'm not going to bore you with all the mountain names again. Just taking in the scenery. I think we made it. I think we did it. Let's try to find, there's a little geological marker up here, so we can say we officially made it to the top. But yeah, here it is, guys. We did it. We made it to the top of a 13,000 foot mountain. How cool is that to say? Let me try to find the geological marker. Absolutely incredible. Can't believe we went from Indiana hiking through slot canyons to an abandoned castle. Yesterday we hiked in the prairie of Kansas, and now here we are standing on top of a giant mountain. I wonder how many of those cars down there realize that I'm looking down upon them. I'm gonna say the geological marker is probably gonna be up there. That looks like the highest point of this mountain. But yeah, I just wanted to give you this view from kind of the end of Sniktau Mountain. You can see the aspen trees, all the little yellow patches off in the distance. Those are all aspen trees starting to change colors for the fall. Very easy to kind of pinpoint them out amongst the pine trees down below. You can see Interstate 70 as well as all these other giant mountains. It's pretty mind-blowing to me also that every single mountain you see here is climbable. There's probably folks out there that have climbed every single one of these mountains. Imagine living out here and just making a weekend climbing each and every one of these. Yeah, that would be the life. But yeah, I'm going to start heading back. I'm going to try to find the geological marker, and if I find that, I'll show that to you, and then we'll start heading down. I really don't feel that bad. The only thing that it kind of worries me is getting struck by lightning. But yeah, it was a steep ascent, so it's going to be a tricky descent. You can see Cupid off in the distance. We're going to try to make it there and see what happens. But yeah, guys, like I said, if I could do a 13er, so can you. This is just incredible. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying this at home. Yeah, I walked right by it, just spotted the geological marker. Here you go. Now we could say we have officially climbed our first 13,000 foot mountain on the top of Sniktau. Well, I just took my first tumble, hurt my wrist, but these rocks are slippery. I mean, literally going straight downhill. Just goes to show you, anything can happen. You gotta be careful out here. Come prepared, have the right footing, bring enough water, wear sunscreen. Yeah, just gave me a nice seat to rest for a second, that's all. Whew. What a trip. Thank you all for joining me on this big Western wedding road trip. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying the videos. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone out there that views these videos on a weekly basis. You guys mean the world to me. The folks that support the Patreon channel, I try to say it every week, you make these videos possible. Without you folks, I don't think I'd be able to explore places like this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, here's some more views of the beautiful Rocky Mountains here in the center of Colorado. Well, if you follow the channel, you know that a lot of other hikers and even myself refer to myself as the Rainmaker. And check out this giant black cloud that is just forming right above my head right now. I don't know if I should be worried or not, but yeah, go figure my luck. And I'm just standing here yapping about it. But luckily, the turnoff point to get back down to Bertha is right here. And you could also see the mountain goats or mountain sheep off in the distance just chilling out. So I think I'm going to get down to that point where the trail intersection is and reevaluate. It is starting to get kind of cloudy up here. And I love you guys and everything, but I don't think getting struck by lightning is worth checking off another 13er. But I'm not going to roll it out just yet. Let's head down there and check it out. Here's a fighter jet. Almost looks like an F-16. Well, it's probably hard to see, but it's actually snowing on me right now. A very fine snow. I was walking, I was like, what is hitting me? That was like bird feathers or something. But no, it's snow. All right, that's different. I don't know if you guys could see it or not, but trust me, it's snowing. All right, well, I was keeping an eye out for them. There's a marmot right in front of me. His head's kind of tucked behind that rock right off the trail. I'll walk towards him. I'm sure he'll pop out and you'll be able to see him. Like I said, they're mountain groundhogs. It's the best way to describe them. He's kind of peeking out behind the rock right in front of me right now. He's probably just as confused as me that it's snowing up here right now. Oh, there he goes. See him right there? Little guy, not the biggest marmot I've ever seen. Doesn't really seem to mind that I'm here. What's up, bud? What's up, buddy? Yeah, anyway. That's a marmot for you. Now you can see two people up top that false summit there. And I'm sorry folks, but the conditions are not looking too good out here right now. It looks like it's just pouring over on those 14ers right now. And like I said, the last thing I want to do is get stuck in a thunderstorm. So yeah, sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think we're going to make it up to Cupid today. We'll have to save that for another day. But hey, mission accomplished. I'm proud of myself. We made it to our first ever 13er. Bertha's down yonder. Mountain goats are off to my left here. But yeah, I'll take you back down, and yeah, kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Not too bad for a Pennsylvania kid, huh? Well, as we descend on down towards Bertha, I figured I would wrap up this video. Once again, I just feel the obligation to say sorry. I had the intentions of hiking Sniktau, Cupid, and Grizzly this morning, but it just wasn't happening. A mix between me and the storms moving in. Yeah, I don't even know if there wasn't a storm moving in, if I could have done it, because my head is just all over the place right now. And me enjoying the rest of the trip means more than anything. So yeah, sorry if you're looking forward to seeing 2 more 13ers, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing the one that we did climb today. I'm extremely proud of myself. That was one of the bigger hiking achievements that I can say that I've done now in my life. Really looking forward to trying out a 14er one of these days as well, as I almost fall down the hill. But yeah, thank you for joining me as always. Like I said, next week we are going to be at a national park, so maybe if you aren't subscribed to this channel, please hit that button, give me a like, leave me a comment. Have you ever climbed a 13er? Would you try something like this? Do you think I'm crazy out here doing this all by myself? Oh, sometimes I do. But yeah, thank you to everybody once again for viewing the videos on a weekly basis. Special thank you to the Patreon supporters, because without you folks, I wouldn't be able to see stuff like this. So yeah, that's going to wrap up things here from Loveland Pass and Sniktau, the 13,000 foot mountain. So yeah, thanks for joining me again. I'll see you next week from a national park. See you then.